It's live.
We have participants already joining in. We have Naval, we have Meghna, we have Sri Lakshmi, we have Kusal, we have Jaldeep, we have Aarti with us. Thank you everyone for joining in on the Saturday morning. Four folks joining in. Hi Vinita, hi Vishal, hi Sanjay, hi Harish. We'll wait for just few more minutes before we begin. See like others. I believe we have few comments here, so unable to see mute unmute option on my window. I believe side here the option for the participants to
I'm doing a.
connect here would be the via chat or Q&A section.
Yeah, correct, Anil. I think participants can drop their question comments in the chat, and we'll be picking up over the course of this webinar.
All right.
Or they can drop the question in the Q&A box.
I guess we can get started now. Like we have 22 attendees.
Yeah, we can start. Anil.
Thank you everyone for joining. Good morning, everyone. I'll just share my screen.
Yes, screen is visible.
So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in on Saturday morning. Welcome to the pre-program information webinar for the Senior Executive Development Program in Building Future CHROs. It's a program by XLRI VIL. We are thrilled to have you here with us today. My name is Anirudh Gupta, and I'm delighted to be here with you. I am a product manager at Emeritus. I look forward for an informative webinar today. So without further ado, I'll start. Uh, so we see that as a HR function is evolving from a supportive role to a central force for transformation. The responsibilities of Chief Human Resource Officer has never been more critical. The modern CHRO is no longer just an HR manager, but also as a strategic partner to CEO, driving the change, steering the organization through the complexities of today's business environment. We see that in the era marked with new market realities, disruptive technologies, the normalization of remote work, the role of CHRO is more challenging and essential than ever before. So let's deep dive into the webinar today. During the webinar, we will delve into how the budding future CHRO program can help you prepare so that you can effectively lead HR strategies and practices that are both people-centric and growth-oriented. So we look forward for an engaging session. And without further ado, let's begin. I'll move to the next slide. Let me know once. See. Yeah, so before diving into the program details, I'll take a minute to walk you through the today's agenda. Here's what we have lined up for you today. We'll start with an overview of the program, a quick introduction to XLRI. Then we'll introduce to our key speaker, who is the esteemed program director of this program. He will share his insights on the program highlights, highlighting the unique features that the program bring in, followed by an understanding of an ideal candidate profile for this program. And then we'll quickly discuss about the learning outcomes of the program, have a quick look on the program modules, the capstone project, certification, and then we'll open up the flow for the Q&A session. So in the Q&A session, you can drop any questions that you have or have had during the webinar, and you may ask that about any details of the program. Then we'll follow it up with a quick introduction to Emeritus, and finally we'll outline the next steps that you can take in terms of in enrolling in this program. So I'll quickly get started with the webinar. Yeah. So according to a Gartner report, a significant 37% of the HR leaders are not equipped to lead change. And this is a bold fact that's coming from Gartner. We see that Senior Executive Development Program in Building Future CHROs by XLRI VIL is designed to equip HR leaders with the skills and the knowledge needed to drive organizational transformation. The program will span over 9 months, and the program combines theoretical insights with practical applications, so preparing you to tackle the evolving challenges in the HR landscape. And through the interactive live online sessions with XLRI faculty, the two campus immersions that we have, real world insights from the case discussions, simulations, and the role play activities, and the capstone project, we believe you will gain comprehensive understanding of strategic HRM and HR leadership. The fees of the program is 3,60,000 plus GST, and the program commences on 30th of this month, that is 30th of June. I'll move to next slide. Talking briefly about XLRI, like XLRI in itself needs no introduction. It's one of the India's top B schools, specifically renowned for its excellence in HR. Since 2002, XLRI VIL has enabled working professionals to continuously upgrade their knowledge and skills without taking a break from their career. Over 10,000 professionals have benefited from the various programs that are offered by XLRI VIL, leveraging its unique academic methodology designed by continuous education. Um, XLRI is also accredited dual accredited B school by EMBA and AACSB. Now I'll quickly introduce to our key speaker for today, Professor Gurunathan. Professor Gurunathan is an associate professor in the Department of Human Resource Management Strategic Management at XLRI. He holds a fellowship from IIM Ahmedabad, underscoring his deep expertise in the field. His teaching specializations include executive compensation, strategic human resource management, wage determination, and administration. As a prolific trainer, Professor Gurunathan has served as a prominent consultant to the Sixth Pay Commission, Government of India, and also has worked with notable organizations such as NPCIL, TCIL, and Reliance India Limited. His extensive research has been published in various national and international peer-reviewed journals and conferences, cementing his reputation as a leading expert in his field. Without further ado, I'll hand it over to Professor Gurunathan, who is here with us today to discuss and share the insights about the program. Good morning, Professor.
Okay, hi. This is Guru, and I'm the faculty. I'll be discussing with you. I'll be with you throughout this program. Well, this is a program where we are planning to discuss a lot. It's largely about discussions where we take business alignment and human resource management, trying to understand human resource management from a business perspective. So we shall be essentially talking to people who already understand human resource management, who know HR. And we will take it forward in terms of how human resource management and various functions are aligned towards, will be aligned towards business. So, which is why we are looking for people with experience in human resource management who understand HR, who have already been there. They are trying to essentially, in the next stage, trying to actually build their competencies in trying to go towards into more policy making level. That's largely what this program is trying to essentially do. This is not a degree granting program, or this is not a program with a longer duration, so it's a short duration program. So the focus is more on discussions over a few topics. We are not trying to exhaust ourselves into. There are so many things we should teach you, I agree with you, but we can't, we are not going to do that in this program. We're going to take a few relevant areas which we think are important, and we're going to place it in front of you and provoke your thinking. And since you already are working in organizations, once we kindle your thinking, we are assuming that you will start building your competencies on that process. That's the idea actually. I like discussing with experienced professionals in HR, so it's fun. I'm looking forward to such rich discussions. So we'll be taking up areas like, for example, we'll be getting into functions and other areas. But the point is, I want students who are managers who have a good understanding of human resource management, but are more interested in discussing it further because they have certain questions, they have certain ideas, they understand their organization or their industry better, but they would like to understand whether it applies to other industries. And how through discussions we learn from each other. So there's a significant focus on how the class actually helps us learn. That's the focus of these kind of programs. We will be using cases a lot, not because we need them in all the sessions, we don't, but it helps us to see a problem that an organization actually faced and discuss it. See, what would you do in this situation? In fact, you might have faced even a better problem than that. And you can bring that into the classroom and we can discuss it. So the idea is to essentially say the best way to become a manager is to understand situations and see how we handle situations. And through those situations, understand a few concepts, knowing very well that those concepts may not be applicable in all the situations. So understand the context when they'll be applicable. And in the process, try to get into a habit of learning, which you can use even after the program. That's the whole idea, actually. I think you have seen the brochure, so you largely know what is the program all about, but I can just briefly take you through what the program is. So I can tell you that the program content largely into is, we can move away from this slide. The program, obviously all our lectures are live or sessions are live. We will have an immersion component, which is important. We realized we meet you in the campus. We want to meet you twice over a 6-day split into 3 days. The idea is to essentially meet you in campus. The idea is to essentially tell you that you understand each other. In the initial part of the program, when we meet you in the campus, we understand each other, you know each other among the students. So the campus immersion is very, very important for us, which we will do it again towards the end of the program. Campus immersion, most of the virtual learning, if somebody was asking what is VIL, virtual interactive learning is what VIL is. Virtual learning actually has a problem in the sense sitting through a monitor. Even right now, I don't know how many of you are already bored. So sitting through a monitor is not easy. So, but then if you know each other well, if you know we are not talking to some stranger, we're talking to people we know each other, generally sitting through the session starts becoming better. So that's one of the reasons why we have to have a face-to-face interaction where campus immersion makes a significant difference. Our learning significantly improves, and therefore we'll be meeting you twice during this. These sessions, by the way, are simple. We are trying to essentially start with the organization strategy. Organization strategy. If you know the organization direction, you know how to design HR policies. So if you know the organization direction, you know how to design the organization first, which ensures what kind of talent you need. So what kind of talent do we need? What kind of talent will essentially hold on to, etc. Once you know how to essentially communicate to this talent, what we now need from them, handle motivation aspects, compensation aspects, etc. And of course, we need to have a good understanding of other functions. Not a great understanding. We are not specialists in finance, for example. We have an understanding of what finance actually wants from HR, what marketing wants from HR. We will understand. Of course, we will understand these things from HR itself. We will understand these things.
There's a question here that if anything could be done with respect to increasing the volume. I believe the voice at your end is a bit on a lower side.
Okay, I will go settings. I've increased the mic volume now. Is it better?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
I see two places where I'm logged in.
I believe that is all right, sir. Maybe
Okay.
some challenge. Yeah, we can continue.
Sure, I'm audible now. So you will see a heavy influence of whenever we discuss anything in human resource management, we'll be discussing it from the industry and organization strategy perspective. Use that in the discussions. But there are two areas where we won't have to worry too much about the industry. For example, there will be a specific module on industrial relations and labor law. You will love it. We got a very good faculty for this. So that will be a dedicated module we will discuss with you. Then talent development is something we'll discuss it more from a process point of view, how do you develop talent, etc. But apart from these two, we'll have a huge focus on linking it with business. For example, in the next slide, you will see that we have a discussion on analytics and HR. So this is an emerging area, not analytics, but AI, right? I don't think we really understand this fully, but we know the impact it has on us. So we are getting good talent from the industry to discuss this with you. What exactly is happening in this area, what you should know in this area. And that's largely what we essentially do here. To towards the end, what we do, since all of you will be working, we'll be asking you to take a project of your organization. You'll have a problem that you want to actually deal with, you want to solve. We want you to take that as a project and embark on a project over I think a month or two period. The exact time we will realize as the session goes on. We will ask you to essentially work on a caps. We call it a capstone project mainly because we want you to take a final stab at a particular problem in your organization and say, what would you do at this particular stage? It could be any area of human resource management, but the idea is try something that we faculty are there. Let's see how we can essentially do. This is largely what we'll actually do in this program. I want you to understand that virtual interactive learning or this online programs, the students matter a lot. You have to come to the sessions, you have to talk, you have to discuss. This matters a lot. It's my job to make you talk. I will make it interesting as far as possible. But I want you to understand, this is not a traditional program. We won't give you we will probably think of a book here, etc. But it's largely about discussions. So it is not one of those traditional programs where you think you can just go through the motion. So, and also it is not a program where we will go very deep into a particular module. We will not. We will move from one module to another by giving you a flavor of that module, understand the key aspects, and go to the next one. Some modules will be longer, some modules will be shorter, depending on the content. But be ready to know that you'll be floating from one module to another, and you will feel the 10 months passing by you very fast. That's something I want you to understand significantly. I want you to understand that we may not go into all the aspects so deeply. Is a key point I want to make. I also want you to make that a significant contribution comes from you, which is why we are very concerned about the kind of talent that joins us. I also want you to see this purely from a learning point of view. Yes, you will get an executive education, alumni status, etc. But that should not be your motivation to join this program. Your motivation should be, do you want to learn? Do you want to discuss human resource management? I'm discussing it on a daily basis with my corporate friends. Can I have an academic discussion? Can I have a discussion with a different set of people? And that should be your motivation to essentially join this program. Just what is the very purpose where we are saying every weekend, let's meet, let's have a discussion around many aspects of human resource management. That's the whole focus about it. And the whole idea is to say, let's leave with a lot of interesting questions. I'm not going to solve problems for you, but I'm saying I'm going to help you ask a lot of questions about your organizations. You will answer them eventually because you are in the thick of the problems in your organization. But we're going to help you ask questions. Most of the time, if we can help you ask good questions, I think we already prepared you for a career ahead. That's largely about the content. Okay, Anirudh, yeah, over to you and over to all of you. You can start asking me any questions. I'm willing to listen to you.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I believe we are open to questions. Like if anyone has any question, they can post it in the
She has her
Q&A.
hands raised for quite some time. Should we allow her to talk? For a long time, her hands are raised.
I don't think we have that option to unmute.
Okay.
And we would request the participants to please share their questions, any queries that they have
So
about the
Kumar was
program
asking
to the
me
Q&A.
what exactly is the difference between this and other programs. This program will have more case discussions, more focus on discussions rather than say, one-way communication. The idea is not, we won't give you the basic and teach you. This program assumes you know enough of the basics and we'll get into a problem and start discussing straight away. So that's a big difference, which can be nice for some students, which can be very frustrating for some students because they will think, where are we going here? All of a sudden the discussion is somewhere here. So that could be, that's the qualitatively, that's a key difference. And second, there's an overarching business focus in our hedge. We're not teaching you pure HR. We are discussing more alignment with the business. So the focus is more on business or the organization strategy, less purely on human resource management. So assessment is a discussion I'm getting into. How we assess, we will be using during these classes are going on, occasionally we will float some kind of a questions or a quiz kind of a way of assessing, so that we know what you have essentially learned actually. So that's probably what I will try to essentially use. Capstone project itself is also a form of assessment, but we will have quizzes while these modules are going on, just to know where you are. We won't be earmarking sessions for these exams. We will be doing it during sessions. We'll be doing it generally, and we'll be testing. Initially, I was not interested in assessments, but then I realized our education system is such that you're used to assessments more than the learning part of it, which is why we said at some point we need to realize, have you learned anything? How do you know? So we will be assessing you using a few situation-based questions. Then we will actually we will do it continuously. We will probably usually do it unannounced during a particular session. So you will not be told, hey, I'm going to assess you. The classes are going on. We will say, hey, have you been with me for the last 2 sessions? Yes. Okay, let's try this. How do you answer this particular question? So that will be what we will typically do. Wait, I'll come back to Deepak later. Syllabus cover topics on business. See, to the extent we think a particular concept can be taught through simulation, we will bring simulation to the picture. So for example, I think organizational change or organization, those places we use a simulation as well. So wherever we think a simulation makes sense, we will bring a simulation into the picture. But other than that, the focus is not just simulations, focus is on discussing problems. So you'll see extensive use of cases, and you'll see simulations coming in wherever it's necessary. We'll not overload ourselves with simulations, the picture. Wait. Is it possible to have 2 immersions each last one? Yeah, we are just thinking of more immersion programs. We are, but it's not easy because when we finally come through the immersion, students actually start developing cold feet. They have organizational challenges. They have a lot of challenges in the workplace. So getting even if you talk to Emeritus, my technology partners who have been very cooperative with us, they were actually telling me, Prof, this is too much. We can't get students all the time, right, to hold this. So we are actually playing with this. Last batch was 3 days. We have made it 6 days. Last batch was planned 3 days, became 6 days. We hope to increase it. But right now, we want to stick to this because getting all of you into the campus while we have got work with you is not going to be easy. How does data approval and data from organization work? Yeah, Deepak, we will work on what you are comfortable with, what your organization is comfortable with. Like all academic data, everything will be confidential and your organization can be assured of it. But I don't want you to jeopardize your relationship with your own organization on stuff. So when we come to that, we can always find out ways to essentially can talk to your organization, convince them, or work on something which is reasonably enormous. The idea of these projects is about for you to learn, not for us. So you can anonymize the name. So the idea is just to say, hey, there is a problem. Let's discuss what you do with it. You're not interested after that. Gaurav Kapoor, assessment is an issue, is something we are interested in, but this is not an exam-driven program. This is a learning-driven program. So the idea is not that I have to fail you or something. The idea is to essentially understand what your learning is. So there will be many assessments, not just one, and there will be ways to essentially handle it. I have not thought about this assessment fully well. I must admit to you, till last year, assessment was not our focus. This year onwards, we are making assessment a key aspect. How we do it has to be carefully understood. So we will introduce continuous assessments. We will introduce it more from situation handling and less from conceptual angles. And we will find out ways where you feel that you are being fairly assessed. So that part we will essentially find out. You are going to be with us, right? So we will discuss with you. The biggest challenge is I want people to attend classes not for assessment or for exams, but because we have something interesting to discuss. That's the key part actually. Abhishek Puri, you have 17 years of work experience, okay, which is not core HR. I have performed for it. Okay, I have a Abhishek Puri's question, and for all of you. See, this is not a program where we teach human resource management. This is a program where we assume you have basic knowledge of human resource management. And we will move to the next stage, that is that is discussing how to link it with business, policy making, etc. So if you've got a good experience of HR, it helps us significantly. Okay. So for Abhishek, I don't know your current knowledge. 17 years of work experience is good. You have worked with the people aspects. So maybe I can understand you what you are doing. But please understand there are various other programs where they'll take you through the basics, and that will be easier for you. So that's something which you want to think about. But you can talk to our Anirudh. You will help us talk to some of the students for Abhishek and see how easy or how difficult it was to understand. So some of the participants found it difficult to follow because they said, "Hey, I want the basics," and I said, "We can't." So to that extent, we are a bit concerned. But if you think you can absorb them faster, I don't think it's a big issue. We are working overseas for some time. We see if you can help us. Okay, we do discuss businesses from largely both Indian and international perspective. This I'm answering Harish here. But I don't know whether we will be deliberately discussing a particular country. So we'll be discussing global aspects that happens. But I don't think you'll have a specific discussion on international business, but international HRM, we will have a discussion. Towards the end, there'll be a 2 to 3 sessions discussion on international human resource management. How we will get material for studies. Yeah, so everything will be online. Wherever we think a hard copy is there, we'll courier it to you. My team will take care of that to you. But largely, we'll be using links to case studies, which you will click on the link, see the soft copy, and then read it and come back. Do we get an alumni status through this program? I leave it to my friend Anirudh Gupta to discuss alumni status later. I will allow him to talk in a moment, but okay, I don't know whether my team has joined.
Just a request here, like for the participants, like if they can post their questions in the Q&A chat, that would be easy.
This separate in this chat, there's Q&A. Okay. PG diploma CHRO course. What's it? Okay, can I just finish this chat while thing and then come back to Q&A?
Sure,
okay?
sir. Sure, sir.
So that this is done. So how will we get material? Yeah, we have to be alumni status. Yeah, that is an executive education alumni status, right? Right, Anirudh? There is a status.
Yes. Executive alumni.
Yeah, but please, that should not be your motivation. I have a HR business case which needs urgent text. This is on. Meghna, you have a interesting case to discuss. You can discuss it anytime, even outside a program. Not an issue at all. Not that we can solve it, but yes, Excel faculty are generally interested in problems, in HR related problems. So we are willing to discuss with you anytime. And faculty are eager. In fact, we don't know, we are not good in solving problems, but we are eager to see problems. Anybody has a problem in HR, that is, it's nice to discuss it. And depending on the area of specialization, I can direct you to talk to any other faculty who's specialized in this area. As the program evolved in any form and where, okay, program has gone through some changes in content. I realized, for example, I have increased certain modules. For example, data analysis, I've increased that module, not because the students asked for it, but because I realized corporate world is asking for it. I have removed certain discussions which were outside HR and brought it within a HR discussion. And from this batch, the key difference is, I don't know whether it's an evolution or a deterioration. We are introducing more gentle focus on assessments are coming to the picture. This capstone project is a new thing we are trying this time. We tried it in the very first batch and we left it, but we are coming back again to those. Content-wise, things are evolving. So we are talking to corporate world and we are understanding the content-wise. But the basics that we think when it comes to what a CHRO should know, those things are not changed much. I will. I will answer Ari's question in the Q&A section. What are the tentative dates of campus immersion that the team will question? Or recordings available in case we miss any session? Recordings are available for a few sessions, right? So recordings are available if I'm right. The Gupta would know. They are available.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
how will you bring the outside perspective of the participation of quality more? So there are ideas of involving industry experts. So for example, one particular module is actually being handled by an industry expert. Analytics, for example. So we do use them. Where we think an industry expert will do better justice, we do bring them into the picture. Where we think somebody is handling a particular session might do well, we do bring them. But even otherwise, whatever I'm going to talk to you, it does not come from some book. It comes because we are talking regularly to my students who are HR managers. So we will evidently be talking to them. And yeah, you have touched on AI. The world is changing very fast. We don't. So if anybody tells you they are able to understand where AI is going, I don't think you should trust them very fast. Anybody says he's confident? No. So what we do, we talk to the best in the industry who are handling these issues. And we try to bring ideas from them. That we are essentially doing. But do you think we know where this is going? We don't know. But do you think what's the latest trends? Yes. That's why we are bringing people from industry for these. There's no point in, even if I tell you I know a lot, you will not trust me. So for that, we are bringing a person from the industry and saying, hey, you know what? This is the guy. This guy is in the industry. Trust him. But yes, it's changing. We are still struggling with it, but it's an amazing change. I like the way things are going. There are many things I think we can actually learn from that, but it's going to be interesting. But we will get you the industry people for those. Okay, the big difference between this course and the PG Diploma CHRO program. First of all, that's a 2-year course. Okay? It's a degree granting course. It's an AICTE approved program. It is a very, very different course in terms of the fees that you pay and the number of modules that you go through and the eligibility for it in terms of interviews and how you get chosen, etc. It's not easy for those programs. We go through an extensive selection process. So that's a very different program. And we do look for very senior talent for those programs. Not that very senior, but people very close to becoming CHRO. So that's that program. So that's a degree granting program. This one is a EMDP. The focus is on development, not on degree, not on certificates. Even though you will be given a certificate, you will get an alumni status, etc. But the focus is more on learning. So this is a learning program, and we don't take too much with you. We take flavors of it and then leave it there. So this is a program where people who are looking to learn, but not really going to commit significant amount of time, not sure about, but they are fine with their education. Their education is not, they are not chasing certificates, but they are looking for something to learn. This is those kind of programs. And fundamentally, therefore, they are very different programs. The label can confuse you a bit. So during the course of program, what are we going to discuss about which? See, obviously, we're going to discuss stuff, okay, that are new. How new it is to you, how new it is to us, you will know when the discussion goes. But see, as an academic institution, I'm not going to get carried away by a trend. I'm going to get carried away only if something looks very interesting, and I think it's mostly sustainable. So we look at what is the underlying aspect. So many things are coming back and going back, etc. For example, last year, everybody was discussing work from home, what do we say? We're still discussing work from home, yes. We are still discussing it. We still know that many people don't want to go. Organizations want you to come to the office. The employees don't like, but we are forcing each other. But do we have a clarity on it? No, answer is no. We are still struggling with this. There is a fundamental issue of trust and monitoring, which is creating confusions. But that has not changed. But I can talk about that. That does not mean that we have arrived somewhere, but we can talk about those. The people analytics tech function on global HR, okay. Ari, I want you to do your homework for both these programs. Okay, the other program is a very different program where you will have to, but the other program we want you to have, that is the PG diploma program. The knowledge of HR is very important in that program. We are not going to focus on very basics. The significant knowledge of HR is required for the other program. Same with here, but here we will be touching them and then moving on in the picture so you can handle this. Other program needs more. Ask yourself a few questions. How much time are you willing to commit? What do you want out of it? Do you want a degree granting program? Ask yourself those questions and talk to students who have taken these programs, both the programs, they take a call. There's the syllabus as business simulation and role. I said there will be a couple of simulations on organizational change. We are planning one more, but I doubt we will use simulations for the sake of simulations. We will use it if we think it is enhancing the particular model that we are teaching. So to that extent, we will, but I can't promise you that we'll have many. We'll have year focus, 1 or 2 simulations max.
Okay, so we have a question stating that what are the tentative dates for the campus immersion?
Yes,
The two
I
campus immersion.
think I'm not sure actually. Though I should know the answer. I think somewhere in August, I think is the first immersion. The second one is February, I think. I think so, approximately. Is Ms. Deepa here? She can help us, but approximately around. We start in July, but we won't have the campus immersion after 4 or 5 sessions. So it'll be around August end or September first week. That'll be the one, and the second one would be towards the end. That is February.
If there are any questions, please feel free to drop in the Q&A session. I believe we have one more question that says that what do you think would be 2 essential and important takeaways from the program, considering we are in some ways aspirant to know about what a CHRO must do?
Oh, there's a question here. What do you think would be 2 essential? Okay. Takeaways. 1, you will have a good understanding from so you'll see HR from a business perspective. The business focus of HR will start becoming better. You will see it not from a pure HR, but from a business perspective. The second thing is you will be able to ask better questions. So what we need as we go up, there are so many people who have functional knowledge. They will do what you tell them to do. But how do you know what to tell them? You will see something and ask a question. So our job is to essentially make you look at a situation and ask questions. And that's the key part for this program. How to make you ask better questions. How can you connect with the parts of previous batches? That our my emeritus and our partners will help you to talk to them.
Also, sir, I believe we have listed the campus immersion dates as well.
Oh, got it. Thank you. Yeah.
Over the chat.
Yes, sir. There will be an attendance requirement for qualifying the certification. We are looking at least 75% or 80%. We will give you the exact number once you join, but yes, we're looking at attendance.
We have questions, sir, that does the program touch upon people risk management?
Could you elaborate? What would you say as people risk management?
It mentions that people risk management in the organization as a bedrock of HR transformation.
There are too many jargons.
Okay, I can talk about it if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you, Deepak.
Yeah. Good morning, Professor Guru.
Yeah.
So the question is basically to do with succession planning and anything to do with people risk. If I lose my critical people, how do we manage that aspect of the business? Does this program cover that as well?
So see, any time in our life, the risk that we will lose talent is actually the main reason why we are discussing human resource management. Almost every aspect of human resource management focuses purely on this, the fear, the risk And how do we handle this? Is succession planning good for it? Yes. Can succession planning be effective? In certain industries, yes. Certain industries, no. How do we handle it? If it is succession planning, how do we handle this? So we do discuss it throughout our program, throughout all entire program. When we say developing talent, when we say rewarding talent, when we say growing, we are all discussing the risk of losing talent is embedded in almost all the discussions. Succession planning will be discussed in one of those. There's a competency module in which we will discuss handling succession planning, etc. But other than that, this is a embedded aspect of the entire human resource management. Obviously, the real fear, right, would be, hey, will I lose my talent? So what do we do to not lose my talent? In fact, not all the time you will be doing succession planning. Okay, there will be a lot of other alternatives you have to work with. So we will discuss that. I'm not promising a solution. I'm just saying we will definitely. These are part of the very discussion of human resource management. So, Vinita, 2 years and 9 months. Yes, 2 years you can go more deeper into the courses. You will be more committed. More time will be spent into this program. You will be meeting twice a week. You'll have to do a lot of courses, projects, quizzes, exams. It's a proper degree granting program, the 2-year program. It's not about just the time. We will want you to do a lot more into this whole aspect of 2 years. 9 months is one where you don't really worry about committing. If you've got a work life and you don't want to commit too much of that time, but still want to learn key aspects of it, this program comes in. That's a degree granting program. Actually. Yes, Rishigan, there will be focus on simulation, but the focus will be on 1 or 2 towards the end, actually.
I believe, sir, those are the questions that we had.
Okay.
I'll just move to the next slide. I'll quickly take 15 seconds to introduce Emeritus. So Emeritus is a online platform, like the technology partner for XLRI to collaborating with XLRI VIL, provide this opportunity for enrolling in the Budding Future CHRO program. I'll open up the floor now to take the next steps for the webinar participants. You can go ahead and connect with the program advisors. You can either directly call them at 82779 98590, or you can also WhatsApp them on 86570 38243. And also you can email them at xlri.exec@emeritus.org. And we had few queries as well that request in terms of connecting with the previous participants of the program, as this is the 4th batch. You can connect to the program advisors via any of these means. Either you can call them, WhatsApp them, email, and we'll try our best to answer your queries. And we'll also try to connect you to the previous participants. All right. I believe the session was very fruitful, sir. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you everyone for joining in and attending the webinar.
Thank you. Please talk. The team will help you to talk to people and take a decision which is just advantageous to you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great Saturday.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Anirudh, can we close the webinar?
Sure.
Thank you.